The Jews officially control the media. Well, that's true if you listen to X and that's your official news source. But we've just discovered that apparently Larry Ellison, the guy who funds a lot of the IDF and whose son now just bought Paramount, is behind, or is one of the big backers behind, the acquisition of TikTok America. TikTok America, not TikTok the world. And as you would expect, the Republicans, the anti-Israel Republicans, may I just add that small caveat, are freaking out on X. Oh my God, it's worse than China and Russia controlling us. The Jews, the Jews, the Jews, the Jews, the Jews. And I find it kind of ironic that they're all freaking out now because they've been accusing us of controlling their media since the beginning of time. Literally, the Jews control the media, the Jews control the media. And whilst I happen to actually think that them buying this, being owned by Republicans who are more for freedom of speech, etc., and who don't have Chinese ideals, and even though they are Jews, we don't actually know where they stand on the political affiliations. Are they pro our government, anti our government? Who knows? We know they support the IDF, which means they have some sort of moral backbone, which I'm very happy for. I don't think this is a bad thing. I think it's a great thing that America owns TikTok and it isn't being used as a spy malware. But more importantly, I love the fact that Paramount is being owned by a Jewish person. And I have to say, guys, there is this... I avoid as much of the October 7th content as I possibly can. I don't know how many of you are familiar, but I run a big news channel, and we'll link it below if you want to, which sends out updates on what's going on in Israel to tens of thousands of people across the world to keep you informed on what's going on. We have a newsletter, etc. And no, this isn't actually advertisement for that. It's actually to say that after October 7th, I spent months watching everything. I watched every video. I watched every piece, every disgusting, revolting, gory video, and I got so desensitized. I watched everything, and it broke me in many ways. And so I stopped. I completely stopped. And I don't watch any of it. I don't touch it. I don't watch scary movies anymore. I don't watch sad movies. I don't watch anything that can just trigger a lot of emotion in me because it's just too much. After the trauma of seeing that huge amount of content, which no human being should have seen, that was overwhelming us on the internet, that was the big reason why I started my news channel, to really kind of allow people to have a way to access information without being bombarded with, number one, lies, but also traumatic content. So I try not to watch this. But at the same time as all these announcements are going on with TikTok, etc., they've released the trailer for a film about October 7th by Paramount. And this is enormous, okay? Because obviously the story of everything that happened on October 7th, if it wasn't about Jews, would be a huge movie making thing, right? Like everybody in Hollywood would want to document the story because it doesn't get better. The espionage, the hostages, the crazy, the drama, the fear. It's like the ultimate movie that actually has substance and is based on a real story. But because it's about Jews and Israel on October 7th, all of these wishy-washy lefty Hollywood people don't really want to touch it. They're just not really interested in it. So we've seen some amazing documentaries that have won awards, but they're all a little bit like niche and indie. They're not just mainstream. You can't just find them everywhere. And we can't underestimate the importance of mainstream media talking about things, right? There are so many stories that you would have zero idea about. You would never, ever know until they became movies that were massively successful, like The Help, the plight of what went on with slavery back in the day. 12 Years a Slave is another good example of that, right? Hidden Figures, another great film about what the African Americans went through. Huge, enormous, super important ways of substantiating what happened. Schindler's List, enormously important for people to understand and remember what went down in the Holocaust. It's a way, movies are a way for us to bring collective memory, which is why it's so important when movies have historical accuracy and why people freak out when they don't, right? So when we see films on Netflix, films on anywhere, literally anywhere that actually tell real legitimate stories, this is a great and important way for it to become part of the culture. And this is something that we're seeing completely not happen with October 7th. They just don't want to remember it. Why? Well, you already know why. You know why they don't want to actually talk about it, because they're afraid of it and whatever. That's a conversation for another time. But now Paramount, which is enormous, okay? And I want you to notice one of the most important things is when you watch the trailer of this film, what other films this studio made, okay? It's a legit production with some fantastic Israeli actresses. My favorite actress in the whole world, Rotem Sela, who I literally adore everything about her. I think she is absolute perfection, hilarious and beautiful and everything that an actress should be, and intelligent. On top of all that, how can you imagine a lawyer who turned an actress? Oh, brilliant. Anyways, they have now made a real movie about what went down on October 7th. And I don't tend to watch these things because they a little bit traumatize me, but we're going to watch it together because I think in the name of historical remembrance, this is significant, but it's a bit hard to watch. So I'll just put that out there. If you're sensitive, you can skip this next part. But it's a good thing. Let's try. Let's go. Let's jump into it and we'll talk about it in a second.
ראית שמפן?
בעזה? כשהייתי ילד היו ניסים לשם הרבה.
ולא פחדת?
היום אני לא מפחד.
People, see! יודעת שאני חולה עליך.
الله أكبر!
شو هذا سلاح؟
זה בקיבוץ?
افتحوا الشباك.
Pulp Fiction and Kill Bill. Big films.
לראות אם צריך עזרה. לך כפר, אלוהים ישמור אותך.
את נורמלית לאן שלחת אותו? חיים שלי ירו בי.
אני בא אלייך, לוחמים!
צועים אליי! בן שלי, ראית את הבן שלי?
אני אהיה פה בחוץ הדלת.
הם יחזרו.
אבו שאתה שם?
פליז, לא דוואלה. לא יכול להיות שם לבד.
صلي وحياتك خلاص وحياتك.
אני מחתנת את הבת שלי עוד שבועיים. את תחתני את הבעלי בדרך.
אנחנו קרובים חיים שלי. Come with us.
You took already one child.
בוא נלך הביתה.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch it. It made me so emotional. Wow, what our people have been through. The cynicism of the fact that we're still out here needing to fight and explain this story is just, it's just atrocious. Just, the baby screaming. Oh, my heart makes me feel sick. The whole thing makes me feel sick. And so, you know, if the Jews controlling the media means that we have more of this, more honest storytelling, so be it. The world needs to know. And again, I think it's hilarious that they think we control the media. Obviously we don't. And again, in the clever words of Dennis Prager, when you say the Jews, which Jews do you mean? The lefty Jews? Because we've seen a lot of those. The right Jews? The religious ones? The secular ones? You know, which Jews are you talking about? But regardless, the idea of having somebody out there who understands the importance of movies and social media to actually be used for bringing morality back, sharing the truth of what's really going on, exposing our enemies. That's what media is always supposed to be about. And so if it's going to take a Jew to do it, then great. Let's make that happen. I'm all for it. Couldn't be more for it. Finally, to see the story that has been so shut down actually put onto mainstream media, people to understand the impact of what really went down, what we're really up against. There is no better and more important tool. And I think all this drama around TikTok being changed, I think he's a shareholder. I don't think anything is actually going to change. I think it's just not going to be Chinese spyware, which I'm all for. I think that's brilliant and amazing. And if it means that there will be more Zionist voices out there who aren't shut down, I know that my TikTok is shut down. It just won't allow me to say anything. Just won't allow me to say anything. And if it's going to allow for more voices of reason to have a platform, great. So be it. May freedom reign, may logic reign once again. That would be nice for everybody. And so on that intense note, thank you for your attention to this matter.